Main man, made man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. So word on the curb is that on July 20th, on the event which will be headlining the fight between Manny Pacquiao and Keith One Time Thurman, aka the Final Level, it seems as if on that undercard they're looking to put together a fight between Omar Figueroa and Yourdenis Ugas. I think this is a very, very interesting fight, a very, very interesting clash of styles, in which you got one in Omar Figueroa, balls to the wall kind of fighter, come forward style pressure fighter, likes to throw a whole bunch of punches, likes to put a lot of force behind those punches, and also doesn't mind taking a shot or two, given his head movement has shown to be a bit limited. You know what I mean? I thought it looked pretty good in his last fight against John Molina, but all in all, in a Omar Figueroa fight where you get a lot of action, where you get a non-stop coming forward fighter that fights to his last breath, he is slacking a bit on the defense. As for Yourdenis Ugas, who have shown us that he can be a good boxer, he still has some questions about his power. He's a very, very good counterpuncher, and he got very fast hands. We've seen this well on display in his last fight against Showtime Sean Porter, in which a lot of us honestly thought that he beat Showtime Sean Porter. I thought Showtime Sean Porter made out of California with a gift. But, you know, that's not here nor there. Yourdenis Ugas did not get his hand raised, though he gave a very valiant effort. And like I said before, a lot of fight fans believe that he beat Sean Porter. Prior to his loss against Sean Porter, Yourdenis Ugas has been on a tear. He's been beating everybody they've been putting in front of him, taking fights on short notice, still coming out as the victor, doing everything he needs to do to get into the elite conversation. Now, after his performance against Sean Porter, after his performances against fighters like Ray Robinson, you know, this has convinced enough boxing fans that Yourdenis Ugas' name belongs in the elite conversation. So we'll see how far it's going to take him. Now, Yourdenis Ugas is trying to make his way back to a title shot, in which he had a title shot in his last fight against Showtime Sean Porter. He fought for the WBC, but he did not win. So now he feels as though by getting the victory over Omar Figueroa, an undefeated fighter, a pretty much fan-friendly style fighter. A lot of fans love to see Omar Figueroa fight. He feels as though he can capitalize off of wins off of Omar Figueroa. Though Omar Figueroa doesn't have a title, nor is he in a great positioning, you know, all across the board. The fact is that Omar Figueroa is a very credible name. He's undefeated. He's a former world champion. You know, and he got a lot of momentum attached to his name usually whenever he stays active. You know what I mean? Now, Omar Figueroa's problem in the past has been remaining active. Prior to the John Molina fight, which was his last fight, he didn't fight for 19 months. And then even prior to that, which was against Robert Guerrero, he was out of the ring for a year and a half. He's been having his run-ins with the law. He's been having injury issues that he's been dealing with. And most importantly, this inactiveness between fights has been giving him issues with making weight. He came in... The last fight versus John Molina was a fight specifically requested by Omar Figueroa to go down at 140. However, Omar Figueroa could not make the 140-pound limit, and they end up modifying that limit at the last minute to 146, in which Omar Figueroa came in at 144. Now, a lot of us been wondering, why did Omar Figueroa want to go back down to 140 anyway? When he came in, he gave Robert Guerrero that one-sided beating. This went down at the full-fledged welterweight at 147. And we thought that he was there to stay. There was even some rumblings about Omar Figueroa versus Earl Spence Jr., given that they're both Texas natives, and that would have been a big fight in Texas. Not to mention that once upon a time, Omar Figueroa was actually ranked in the IBF as well. So there was a lot of talk of possibly Omar Figueroa maybe putting against Earl Spence when he came back at 147. But Omar Figueroa maybe felt as though his best fighting weight, or the people around him felt as though his best fighting weight was at the lower divisions, where he's a former world champion at 35. He caused a lot of dust, you know, so they figured, have him come back at 140. That's where he fights the best. But his body just would not allow him to make the weight. So now he is now campaigning. It's looking like at full-fledged welterweight, because we don't know Yourdenis Ugas for going down in weight. And Ugas wants to be put in a position to get a title. So this is going to be an interesting clash of styles, man. Omar Figueroa come forward and swinging a bunch of punches, seeing how many punches can Ugas take before if he starts to go down, or if he starts to go down or whatnot. Will he be able to withstand the pressure of Omar Figueroa, or will he stand on the outside and box him and counterpunch him properly, beat him on the inside as well, like he did in a lot of portions of the fight with Sean Porter? I mean, how would that work? A lot of us thought that Sean Porter should have maybe used his traditional style of coming forward, being that wild, crazy Sean Porter that we known him to be, and he would have probably had more success in the Ugas fight. Well, if you wanted that style of fight, well, you're definitely going to get that with Omar Figueroa. Omar Figueroa is going to fight in the exact style that a lot of folks wanted Sean Porter to do against Ugas, and we'll see how Ugas can take it. Now, it may be a bit different coming from Omar Figueroa than it is coming from a Showtime Sean Porter, who's probably an even bigger fighter and someone who's used to fighting in that fighting style also just as much as Omar is, but he does it well. It's been very effective for him. As for Omar gets hit a lot. And a lot of people thought that John Molina fight in this last fight was real close. You know what I'm saying? To Omar's credit, he was out of the ring for over 19 months, and maybe he did have a little ring rust. I wouldn't deny that. But he didn't look as stellar as he's had in previous fights. So who knows what that may say going forward. As for Yourdenis Ugas, though he's coming off a loss, he still has the momentum at his back. Fans are still in his corner because of the valiant effort that he gave in this last fight. And I do believe that he has a lot of tools in his toolbox that can give Omar Figueroa problems. To be honest with you, in the early offsets of talking about this fight, I'm actually leaning towards Yourdenis Ugas, a more calculated, better counterpuncher, in my opinion, to maybe get the nod. Maybe. That may change as we get closer to fight date. But as of today, I think I'm leaning a little towards the Yourdenis Ugas side, man. He's made me a believer from his last few fights. He's made me a believer because he wants the best. He's been talking up the best. And, you know, a lot of fighters overlooked him, such as like Earl Spence Jr. They overlooked him because his name didn't ring as many bells, because he doesn't have that big win. You know what I mean? He still needs that one big one that put his name up there in the stratosphere of basically elite. You know, he feels as though he's elite. A lot of us fans, as though, you know, looking at his talent, we may feel as though he elite, but a lot of other boxers see him as a high risk, maybe low reward kind of guy. So he needs that name, and Omar Figueroa name is a good name to build upon. So we'll see how it goes, man. But they're looking to make it go down on the undercard of the Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman fight. I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm expecting nothing but action non-stop. You hear me? Non-stop. Good fight. Real talk. So to the next video, Main Man Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Main Man Made Man Boxing Forum. Instagram, Main Man Made Man. Hope this fight, man, delivers all it should deliver. You know what I mean? Because I really like both of these fighters. I'm a big fan of Figueroa, and I'm a big fan of Ugas. And it's going to be real good to see these clashes of styles come to a head, man. It really is, man. So we'll see who walks away when the smoke clears. To the next video. Peace out.